TikToks that feel illegal to watch. Are you ready? Are you ready? Let's go!
Disclaimer: this video is for entertainment purposes only. Please do your own research, as these clips haven't been fact-checked.
Stop, please get off me. Please get off me. Please get off me.
Why can't he take no for an answer?
Please. Please, yeah, that's the feeling of you should go away. Please get off me.
What's the word?
Please get off me.
Why can't he take no for an answer?
But when you give up your manhood, I've never seen somebody recover from it. That was all the people that went to the puffy parties. That was all the people that did all those things thinking that there was never going to be a consequence for what they were doing. Get punked out and pimped out by some greater desire. You shouldn't have a greater desire than being a man.
So you see some guys struggling with that. You see Bieber struggling with that. You see some of these guys struggling with that.
They can't get it out of their head. They can't get it out of their head. The things that they did, no matter how they did it, whether they were drunk or high or whatever, you gave up your man card. You need therapy. And that's the thing that hurts them the most. And so they end up on drugs, end up every way to try and get rid of any principles there are. And that's what the business does. And the women that trade their bodies to go and get the role, they get to the point where they have their Oscar, they have their money, but they don't have their dream. They don't have the soul that they started with. So it's like achieving don't mean anything. If I get all the Nobel Prizes from doing all of this, but in the process I have to trade out all of my integrity to do it so that they can stay in place, what benefit is that if I lose my integrity? You got to go in as a principal. And what we were brought in here as men. We produce 1,500 sperm per heartbeat for a reason, because the aggression is necessary. You don't trade that in, no matter what.
Hey, did you ever have the opportunity where you got invited and you said no to it?
Hell yeah.
What was the consequences when you said no?
Puffy invited me for weeks, asking me to come and teach him how to, wanted me to be his acting coach for a while. Go there and he's sitting around just looking. I'm like, okay, what's the material you want to work on? He's just looking at me. Then next thing you know, okay, hey, will you help me? I want to hear your music. So I come over there and I play the music. And he's sitting there, just looking at me, like waiting. Okay. So then my assistant was like, he wants to hang out with you next week. And I was like, for what? He's like, I think he's trying to f you. That's what my assistant said. I was like, oh, okay. Now I get it. So now no more communication. Now you know to be hands-off with somebody. A number of producers come in and make the approach, and you threaten to punch them in the mouth, or threaten to knock their head off for talking to you or looking at you like you're a woman. When you approach a real man about his masculinity, you're going to get a real reaction back. It's a difference when a guy walks in a room and when a man walks into a room. And a man don't take the same things that a guy will accept. So always be the man in the room. And that's always been my whole thing, and have lost businesses because I don't bend over in that way. I don't compromise. I don't play gay roles. I don't kiss a man. I don't do that.
You know why I believe him. Look at his acting career. He has been overlooked for several roles. There's a reason he didn't compromise.
Kid Cudi said Diddy was like a Marvel supervillain. He got on the stand and told a wild story. December 2011, 5:30 in the morning, Cassie, who he's secretly dating, calls him and says, Diddy has found out about us. I'm freaked out. Come pick me up. He gets in the Porsche, picks her up, takes her to a hotel. When he gets to the hotel, his assistant calls. Diddy is in your house. He forced his way in. So Cudi's driving back to his house in the Hollywood Hills, and he calls Diddy and he's like, motherfucker, are you in my house? And Puff says, I am here waiting for you. Like eerie calm, super villain calm. But while Cudi is driving back, Diddy unwraps Christmas presents that Cudi had for his family and locks his dog in the bathroom, traumatizing the dog. Diddy wasn't there when Cudi got back, but a few weeks later, Cudi's Porsche goes up in flames. On the stand, he blamed Diddy. arson is among the predicate acts in the racketeering charge. Months later, they decide to get together to try to settle the beef. They decide to meet in a hotel, in a meeting room. Diddy is already there when Cudi walks in, and Cudi says on the stand, Diddy is looking out the window calmly with his hands behind his back, looking like a Marvel supervillain. He said Diddy's calmness was very off-putting. At the end of the meeting, Cudi said, "So what are we going to do about my car?" And Diddy said, "What are you talking about?" That really bothered Cudi, as you could imagine. This sort of vengeful, retaliatory action is part of what the government wants you to see as part of the coercion and the control and the violence he used to keep Cassie from... I mean, if you're asking, why didn't she just leave after she sees Cudi's car blow up?
I swear Diddy thinks he's Nino Brown.
Today it's about a man named Elon, and he's one of the greatest business leaders and innovators the world has ever produced. He stepped forward to put his very great talents into the service of our nation, and we appreciate it.
Black Eye Club, look it up.
Diddy was a good friend of yours back then. He has since found himself in some very serious legal trouble.
Yeah, that's true.
Would you ever consider pardoning him?
Well, nobody's asked. You had to be the one to ask, Peter, but nobody's asked. But I know people are thinking about it. I know they're thinking about it. I think some people have been very close to asking. First of all, I'd look at what's happening, and I haven't been watching it too closely, although it's certainly getting a lot of coverage. I haven't seen him. I haven't spoken to him in years. He used to really like me a lot, but I think when I ran for politics, that relationship busted up. From what I read, I don't know. He didn't tell me that, but I'd read some little bit nasty statements in the paper all of a sudden. You know, it's different. You become a much different person when you run for politics and you do what's right. I could do other things, and I'm sure he'd like me, and I'm sure other people would like me, but it wouldn't be as good for our country. As we said, our country's doing really well because of what we're doing. So it's not a popularity contest. So I don't know. I would certainly look at the facts. If I think somebody was mistreated, whether they like me or don't like me, it wouldn't have any impact on me.
It should be a hard no. The dark side of French history, she was innocent. Is just an underwater tunnel. What do you think? But tomorrow when Russia responded, you're gonna say Putin is evil.
It's a very sad case. It's a case we win. We can't lose that case because we have the right to make grants. We're not going to make any grants like that. But I don't think Harvard's been acting very nicely. I think Columbia wants to get to the bottom of the problem. They've acted very well. And there are other institutions, too, that are acting, but Harvard's trying to be a big shot.
All this over a ball game? It's insane, folks.
This is how Indonesian sounds to those who don't speak the language.
Berlangsus mato premburusan jaktim, ploh rungkat klisor tembarakos maru, entus gelantar kumpandres lagi rujak sendulangka puram sing.
What you just heard were the phonetics of the language alone, in order to help you understand how you sound to those around you who don't speak the language. Indonesian is an Austronesian language known for its clear pronunciation, simple grammar, and lack of verb conjugations or tenses. It uses affixes to modify meaning, creating a logical and efficient structure. Influenced by Sanskrit, Arabic, Dutch, and Chinese, its vocabulary reflects Indonesia's diverse history. Unlike many Asian languages, Indonesian has no tonal distinctions, making it accessible for learners. Spoken by over 200 million people, it serves as a unifying language across Indonesia's thousands of islands and cultures. A fascinating and essential language to discover. Follow me and comment on which language you want to see next.
As an Indonesian, I can't even understand that.
A video posted on social media by the Egyptian Red Crescent showed the emergency response team using a car to pull a vehicle out of a flooded tunnel. And later, rescuing an injured bird after heavy rain drenched the coastal city of Alexandria. Widespread damage was reported across northern Egypt as storms swept through the region, according to Reuters, citing local media reports.
Wow, that rescue team is amazing! Pulling cars and saving birds in such tough conditions. Respect!
Some apocalyptic scenes are coming out of Switzerland right now. What you are seeing is a glacier collapse that has completely buried most of the Swiss village of Blatten. Over 3.5 million cubic meters of ice, rock, and snow collapsed, causing a massive landslide, which led to about 90% of the village being covered or destroyed. And these are the insane images of before and after the landslide. Now, thankfully, the village's population is only about 300. Plus, their pets and livestock were evacuated days prior because geologists looked at the site and they said it looks a little bit unstable. But still, the landslide is so tragic for the village that the mayor told the press the unimaginable has happened.
Am I tripping? Or I feel like something big is going to happen.
What if I told you that everything that we've ever been told, everything, the opposite, was always the truth? Everything. Everything.
Looking at the streets of Paris right now, you'd think that PSG lost 5-0 last night. But no. This is how some fans celebrated the club winning the first Champions League in its history. Overwhelmed by happiness, I guess, they looted stores, destroyed bus stands, set fire to bins and vehicles, and then just left them burning in the streets. And of course, filled with joy, they set off fireworks and flares. But it gets worse. These celebrations weren't only limited to Paris. Disruptions and serious vandalism was reported across the country. A car plowed into PSG fans in Grenoble, leaving 4 injured. A 17-year-old boy was stabbed in the chest. 192 people were injured, including 22 police officers and 7 firefighters. Nearly 600 people were arrested, and 5,300 police had to be deployed using tear gas and water cannons to control the celebrations. Bro, 2 people died in all of this. Can someone explain France to me? Because winning has never looked so apocalyptic.
2 crypto investors, John Waltz, known as the Crypto King of Kentucky, and his accomplice, William Duplessis, are charged and accused of torturing a man for 17 days in a bid to try to steal his Bitcoin password. Prosecutors claim that this 28-year-old Italian man was held captive inside of a Soho townhouse that, by the way, is renting for $75,000 a month. For 17 days, prosecutors detail just a shocking level of torture. They claim that this man was urinated on, electrocuted with electric wires, forced to smoke crack cocaine, had his leg cut with a saw, and at one point was hung over a ledge inside the townhouse. The man was able to escape, running in broad daylight, bloodied and with no shoes, in the street, running into a traffic cop, and then the rest is history. Now, the man says that he was able to escape only after he told his captors that he was willing to give his Bitcoin password. When they turned their back to retrieve the laptop, he made a run for it.
The real crime is paying $75K a month for a townhouse. Middleman going with no plans.
I just need y'all to be aware that comments like this do have repercussions. Don't let your ideology get you put in a box looking at the roof of church.
That's a hate crime. not freedom of speech. What do you think?
Kevin Gates has officially come out and said he is the angel of fear.
Are you an angel?
What you just said?
Are you an angel?
I'm the angel of fear.
The angel.
The angel of fear.
You're the angel of fear. That's what
Yeah. Those
You
who
understand
know.
what I'm saying?
I understand exactly what you're saying. Yes, sir.
You understand?
Yes, sir. He who opposes us in his heart,
Do you let people know?
fear shall overtake him.
Do you let people know that? Do you tell people that?
Those who have eyes, let them see. And those who have ears, let them hear. It ain't for me to put it there. They know the voice of their shepherd when I'm on location. Yes, sir. I got to shoot. I got to do.
Give
I
me a
got to
handshake on that one.
Yes, sir.
We speak the same language.
Nice to meet you.
Crazy thing is, that's not the first time Kevin Gates has said something like that.
You say, fast forward to the future, if I was 86 years old, well, this is gonna sound very, very crazy. I'm already like 3,000 years old right now. I just tell people I'm 33 because I don't age. Like 3,000. I know that's gonna sound weird, but I don't age. I'm immortal. There's nothing new under the sun. My mother had sex with an angel, was born an immortal, and they didn't even know it.
So a while ago, Kevin Gates said he was over 3,000 years old and that he was immortal. Now, when being asked by Paul Pierce if he was an angel, he said, dang, as if he had to answer the question, and then proceeded saying, I am the angel of fear. Well, good thing the Lord did not give us a spirit of fear, so won't no children of God be fearing anything when it comes to Kevin Gates. I pray for the boy to get help. However, if he truly is the angel of fear, if he truly is working with the kingdom of darkness, then he knows who to play with and who not to play with. He knows where he's going and where he's come from. One thing about these people telling you who they are, stop calling them off as crazy. Start listening to what they're saying, because they be telling on themselves a lot of different times.
Did anyone hear Paul when he said we speak the same language?
Hey, Gary.
Yeah.
Why is Botox bad for you?
You know, a lot of times people said that botulism, which is what it is a deadly disease that you put in your face. It's not actually harmful. That was the research for a long time. But like a lot of things, there's now information coming out that's proving that the Botox goes right into the brain and into the brainstem. It's not my opinion. This is actually published science now. So the people who told you that it was okay are the ones that were the ones selling it to you. Just think about that. There's no way that putting poison into your body, into your skin, is going to be good at any time.
What can we do instead?
Natural Botox, minerals, sunlight, facial maneuvers.
Sunlight as natural Botox? Doesn't sun cause wrinkles?
What do you say about autistic people that be like, they work differently than us?
A lot of diseases, what they call diseases, be gifts from God. See, when you bipolar, you see all the universe I talked about, you can catch information from all of them. Your problem is you can't ground. Once you ground, you can receive all types of information. Bipolar is a gift. But they give you the drug, and now it's no longer a gift. They need to teach you how to balance. I told you don't go to the doctor, because no doctor don't know nothing about the body, bitch. They know about medicine. So why I'm going to somebody about my body, they don't know nothing about the body then. America and everybody's job is to get in the middle of everything that can help you, because only you can help you. They did it with Jesus. They put Jesus in front of God. Now you can't get to God. They put the doctor in front of health. So now you think you need them when you are health, right? So every time they put the middle person in, you lose your power. And they do it all the time. You don't need no middleman. You don't need no Jesus. The only way to get the Jesus to God, well, Jesus and you, I'm going through the door then. I'm gonna move Jesus out the way then. If he's the only way in, get him out my way then.
That's why I pray straight to God himself.
So in The Truman Show, Truman Burbank was the only authentic and free person in that whole movie. You have to understand, there were NPCs that were running a skit, a program, and he was surrounded by them. Even though his environment was rigged for him to be controlled, he still was free. Your Truman Show is no different than that. You were surrounded by NPCs that are running a skit, a program. But you are the control player in this Truman Show.
The movie Free Guy with Ryan Reynolds is like a different take on Truman Show.
Is the world now. And this is wrong. What if I told you that from here to here, it's 6,400 kilometers. But from here to here, which only looks like half the size, is 7,200. The continent of Africa has been shown smaller than it actually is. What if I told you that Greenland was only this size? Or Russia was this size? And the US and Canada were not small. You know what? This is the real map. Look at Sweden, Finland, and Norway. They're much smaller now. But Greenland is tiny.
Question is, why would they lie to us?
We are a splinter cell family. We could not be ever noticed and affiliated with the United States military. There is no U.S. Army background by design. You know, we are what's called a stay behind operators. Like these are people that are designed to stay behind enemy lines and let the whole entire country get overrun until they're activated. And they just keep making more and more and more clones of these sleeper cell soldiers who make more generationally until they ever are activated. That's how my family operated. And so by the time I got into the United States Army, I started being surrounded by normal grunt kind of guys and guys that are just, you know, hoorah, but have never got their hands filthy soaked in blood and have no idea what it's like to puke down another man's throat because you're so scared. Like people have no idea the depravity of violence, nor is our culture really suited to listen to their stories. And at the end of the day, it's the lack of safe people to talk to that has kept so many of us buried in the darkness. We don't know who to trust with what we are and who we've been and who is a friend and who is a foe, or who's here to just manipulate us and handle us and use us for somebody else's filthy desires. We understand everybody's a liar. Best to start there and let them prove themselves by their fruits, whether or not these things are true. And it's really hard because you're isolated, you're alone, and you're your own worst enemy. You will sabotage every relationship you've ever had. You will ruin anyone that gets close to you to try to keep them alive. Like the hardest man I have to deal with in the mirror is not some other guy who comes to try to kill my family. It's me who seeks to ruin my own family. There's a reason 90% of war fighters lose their marriage.
So why does no one believe that you're being targeted? Who in their right mind would believe that there's an endless amount of demonic, miserable entities that want nothing more than to dismantle your life and drive you to insanity?
Witches were bad. Yeah, that's what they teach you. Yeah. So you don't tap into your power. Why would I tell you that I'm doing a spell on you? I'm going to tell you that spells are bad so that I can do it on you. Like, how? Explain that. Who is who? The government. Witchcraft is bad. Witchcraft is this, but they're doing witchcraft on you.
The government's doing witchcraft on people.
Yeah.
The dollar isn't just currency, it's a spellcraft. Every time you stress over money, you're feeding the spell with emotion.
You look at the dollar, first of all, it's a dead president on it. It's an ancestor. When you look at the different pyramids and certain lines and how they print their money, it's all a spell. It's all a ritual.
But repetition with belief equals ritual, and rituals shape your subconscious. You've been doing rituals daily and don't even know it.
Right? So every time you touch money, even psychologically, when you're thinking about money, it is all outlined to you. Everything you watch is subliminal when you think about it.
Subliminal doesn't mean hidden. It means it bypasses your conscious filter and goes straight into your subconscious mind. The mind processes 95% of the info unconsciously. So when you watch content full of sex, fear, envy, or violence, it programs how you feel and behave, even if you think you're just watching.
Your music is subliminal. You know, the 808s, all the beats, everything. They are 100% controlling us. Yes. So if you know that you're being controlled, now you can't be controlled anymore. But if you don't know, they can continue to control you. And that's what's happening to everyone. That's why you get a certain feeling when you listen to certain music. It's frequencies.
808s and mainstream music are powerful root chakra activators. That's why trap music feels so heavy. It's designed to keep you locked in base desires. Money, sex, fear, survival.
When you're like, why would they put this out? Everything behind that is strategic. They're not just putting it out to put it out there. When people think of success, they say, okay, I need to go out, I need to buy a mansion, I need to buy a Maybach, I need to do this, I need to do that.
This is material programming. The Matrix runs on external validation. They set the standards so high and flashy, you sacrifice your soul chasing the image. But ancient wisdom says, true gold is inner alchemy. Master your mind and you master your world.
That is not really what they want. That's what they're being told they want. So they will really be a slave, like going to work 9 to 5, doing this, doing that. Not saying nothing's wrong with 9 to 5.
Yeah, exactly.
What I mean is, if that is not your gift, that is not your calling, you're just doing it to get what looks like success, you are being manipulated. It is literally all in our minds. It's being subliminally taught to us. But when you have an awakening, you start making choices that are literally from your soul.
Controlling through music beats. Someone finally said it.
They're in Mexico and it's 3 or 2 kids, right? They're going inside, I believe, their grandparents' room who just passed away. Because he also shows this like box that has the ashes of his grandfather. But his sibling has to go to the bathroom outside. And then he ends up recording outside, but he ends up recording like some shadow or a witch. Because somebody did say it looked like an owl. A lechuza.
Estamos aquí, estas son las... Mi abuelito... Espérense, no sean chillones. No va a pasar nada. Y esas son las cenizas de mi bisabuelo, porque pues desgraciadamente él ya falleció. Y el baño está allá. El baño, mi hermano quiere hacer pipí, pero el baño está allá. Y mi abuela nos dijo que cuidáramos.
Oh shit.
Mi abuelo nos dijo que cuidáramos. No tengan miedo. No pasa nada. Abuelito, si estás aquí, preséntate con nosotros.
Saw that? Yeah.
Si estás aquí, preséntate ante nosotros. Somos tus nietos.
It looked like it flew. And the kids aren't laughing. I would expect the kids to like laugh, because obviously when you fake something, you end up like sneaking and laughing there, but there was no laughing. Like they actually sounded like they were scared.
I think it was a spirit or some
was-
shit
it was
manifesting. Yeah, bro, because you can't.
God is with him, that's why he's not scared.
And then masturbation now starts killing your soul, killing your body, eating your luck away, everything that was supposed to be coming your way. This is another thing that I would like young men to go and really study. Go and read about the incubus demon. It's a demon that can really become a part of you, especially if you masturbate. Also starts forcing you to masturbate all the time. So you're losing your energy, you're losing your luck, you're destroying your body. The incubus is for women, the succubus is for men. It is a vicious demon. Then at night, it will want to have sex with you, because now it becomes a spirit husband. It becomes a spirit wife. So sex becomes a way of just opening portals. When God is telling you do not do something, understand that he loves you. That is why he's giving you that commandment. Yeah.
Since I learned how to control myself, I feel so calm and free.
We didn't discover Antarctica until 1820. That's a fact. Go look it up. And yet, somehow, it's right there on maps from the 1500s, drawn with precision, with coastlines, with mountains, with detail we shouldn't have had. Now ask yourself, how did they map a place no one had ever stepped foot on? Let's talk about the Orontius Phineas map, drawn in 1531. It shows Antarctica exactly where it should be, nestled under South America. Then there's the Walsey-Miller map, same story, and the Pinkerton map doesn't even bother pretending. It just leaves a hole where Antarctica belongs. They called it the Southern Land, and oddly enough, it was bigger than today's frozen chunk. Why? Because during the Ice Age, it was. Let that sink in. Whoever made the original maps knew Ice Age geography. So either someone traveled there thousands of years ago, or we're dealing with something far older, a civilization, lost, forgotten, but smart enough to chart the ends of the earth when we still thought the world was flat. These aren't just maps, they're fingerprints, clues left behind by hands that shouldn't exist in our history books, and yet they do. Go ahead, say it's a coincidence, but the evidence, it's staring right at us.
This is just a theory, not a fact.
This ice wall many thousand years ago was green places. What do you think?
This man disappeared and cannot find by family and friends after recorded the moon with his telescope and captured this. Watch this.
I told you, you cannot sit at the table unless you sacrifice something. They're not showing you this for no reason. They're literally giving you the scoop. And so this is why I say he was trying to get ahead of this, because all of this is a ritual and initiation. You see, they're not going to really show you what happens behind the scenes. They're only going to give you a taste of it. But in realities, this is what's happening in these dark rooms. They are giving something away in order to receive the riches of the world. And now they're targeting streamers, and they're targeting them young. Just like Disney Channel, where all their stars, when they grow up, they get indoctrinated to this lifestyle. Y'all stay woke.
I flexed the stream. This part of the night never got brought up again, which was weird.
I've seen acts of strength from people, children, that are beyond imagination, impossible strength. Like a giant was in the room. You know, I worked in a residential treatment center in Colorado, and it was called Devereux Cleo Wallace. And this place had a like semi-locked facility, and there was like 6-year-olds all the way up to 18-year-olds for various different issues, adjudicated youth, people that are serving sentences. And then you just had like Asperger's and autism unit, and all mixed together in this insane complex. And this little 6-year-old girl was freaking out, and they put them in quiet rooms. That's what they call it. It's like not a padded room, like a walled linoleum reinforced room with a serious door, you know, a cell. She's in that room, and all these staff are in there restraining her, all men, all like teenage or mostly college age guys. And they all have this little girl. I mean, arms are like this thick, pinning her down. And then she starts screaming in multiple voices in languages, start erupt like Twilight languages, like all this like deep guttural roaring, and lifts all of us off the ground from her back. You can feel the atmosphere in the room shift, like with icy, horrible, cold, dread, anguish, you know, and I started praying out loud in the name of Jesus at the time, like just in Jesus' name, we bind you from affecting this little girl, and we command you to get off of her and be silent and leave her. And it was like,
if you went to a Pentecostal church in the early 1000s, you've seen this happen many times.
What is happening now is not about these people gaining more power, because they've had all the power they wanted up to this point. Because while humanity was not aware that they were being manipulated, they weren't aware that their resources were being stolen, they weren't aware that their energy was being vampired, these guys could go on controlling us forever in that stage. Then what is happening now is not about them gaining more power. It is their desperate last death throw attempt of the control system to hold on to the power it already had. And the reason that it's now manifesting is because they can see down what we call the timeline from their level of observation just outside of our visible light reality. And therefore, they could see this time coming. They've been preparing for this for ages to throw it in now. And that says many things. It says an incredible thing about what's happening, and that is the power of this transformation, the power of this awakening is so profound that they have to throw all this stuff at us to try to head it off. And they will head some people off. They will keep some people in the box. But the tide is turning. Most crucially, the tide is vibrationally changing. And they're going to throw it. And for the next few years, it ain't going to look for a second as if, from the perspective of the vast majority of people on this planet, that anything's happening other than the control system is getting its way. That the control system, the Orwellian control system, the fascist global state is actually going to get what it wants. And people are going to say, oh my God, we're doomed. And then the tipping point's going to come vibrationally. And this is going to come down so fast eventually. And I'm 58, and it's going to happen well before I leave here. Because I want a bit of the other side of the epoch, thank you very much. I've had all this side, I want a bit of that side before I leave here.
A tipping point will be coming. Hold on, they're the one who have the most fear.
People have just found out the horrifying truth about the rat people in Pakistan. It's actually really, really sad. So you may or may not have heard of the rats of Shardola, often referred to as the rat children. These people, but it gets a lot more messed up because of how they look like this. So there is a deformation in the world which can cause your head to look like this. It is obviously very terrible, which is what some people do have. These people most likely born with it, and it's a terrible condition, but yeah. However, these people were forced to look like this. They most likely didn't before. These poor people are believed to be completely abused and controlled by people to make them look like beggars. Believed they're controlled by mafias in Pakistan, who basically dress them up, do these awful things to them and tell them what to do. People are made to look this way, then dressed up, sent to the streets to look like really bad beggars, and as awful as it sounds, literally just collect money for these gangs. Well, this is the condition that can happen to you, but these people are forced it, so most likely they would have had a normal head shape before, and these people would put an extremely tight metal band around their head to essentially crush their skull inwards. Can you even imagine that? Leading their head to become smaller, deformed, and people believe they're beggars.
Now that's creepy, folks.
554 Indonesians have arrived home after being rescued from scam centers in Myanmar. Lured with the promise of a well-paying job, they were forced to work under threat of being hurt or killed by scam center operators, and some were even threatened that their body parts would be taken if they failed to meet targets.
It's actually depressing how people easily fall for a scam like this. It's like a well-paying job is really hard to find.
Let's talk. So, if you guys didn't know, there is a lot of powerful bloodlines on this planet, okay? A lot of descendants from powerful bloodlines, lineages, and generations. But there is one specific one that the government wants to get a hold of. This is the bloodline of Jesus Christ. There is only 6 people on this planet right now from that bloodline. A couple are celebrities. A couple right now at this time are regular people, right? People in the world that they aren't famous. They don't have a lot of clout, fame, success yet. Okay, so the thing about this is the government, the elites, the deletes, they have been trying to find the descendants of this bloodline for years. They have been trying to find it through hospitals. They have been trying to find it through DNA ancestry kits. They cannot find the descendants of the bloodline, right? Because these are people that are very smart. You can't track their DNA. You can't tell who they are because these are not people that do the average things. They usually don't go to hospitals. They would never do a DNA ancestry kit because this is just how they move, because the Lord has them tapped in through their intuition, their third eye, as well as their spiritual gifts, right? A lot of you guys don't understand that this year, the remaining of the 6 of this bloodline, they are going to step into their destiny. Most of them already have, right? The thing about this is the reason why the government, has been trying to track and find this bloodline because these are the most powerful people on the planet. A lot of you guys don't understand and know that in the Matrix, it was basically Jesus who was the only one that was born into the Matrix that knew the ways, the patterns, and how the Matrix operates. This information was passed down to the descendants of Jesus Christ's bloodline through their DNA and their spiritual gifts. A lot of people don't understand. This year, like I've already said, is going to be super powerful. But because all 6 of Jesus Christ's descendants are awakened to their power, or they are about to awaken to their power, it's going to be a complete world shift. And the reason why the government cannot take these 6 beings out is because how they think they get their downloads, their spiritual knowledge is not like the average person. So they can't just take them out by doing psychic attacks. They can't just take them out via spiritual warfare because the Lord already knew what was going to happen to them. So it's basically like protection around them. This year is going to be very powerful, right? And a lot of, I want to say about 4 of the 6 descendants have been in hiding. They've been in training. They have been undergoing a lot of spiritual tests, a lot of spiritual awakening, spiritual upgrades to get them prepared for what's about to happen. Because once the government finds out, the elite, deletes find out that these 6 have stepped into their power, they have stepped into their destiny, all hell is going to break loose. And not just for the 6, for everybody that they are awakening. Everyone that they have or will awaken because of their powers, because the knowledge that they hold is so valuable to the government. Even the government doesn't have the information that the 6 hold, because the scroll that they hold, that they were born with, is embedded in their DNA. And you can't just take their DNA and use it. You won't be able to get their information through their third eye, their spiritual gifts. It's literally embedded in their DNA. And on top of that, these people are immortal.
No, ma'am. They are looking for the bloodline of King David, not Jesus.
A man without a beard and mustache is just like a woman with a mustache and beard.
Masculinity is something else. It doesn't depend on beard and mustache.
When you have a closing attitude, like you're negative, you're anxious, you're always seeing the bad side of things, that lens gets very narrow until you only have this kind of single focus, which is all on the negative. And because of that, you lose opportunities. You are the source of your own problems. Because you are anxious and negative and narrow and seeing all the negative things, you make bad decisions. You decide not to start that business when it's actually the best thing that you could do. You decide to take that job that pays so well because you want money, but it's not a job suited to you. You're making bad decisions because of your attitude. If you are open and expansive, if you are not afraid of life, if you think of something as an adventure, and if I start that business, if I write that book and it fails, so be it. I've learned something. It's fun. It's like if I cross that river, I leaped across it and I fell. Okay, I got wet. It's a little bit cold. So what? It made me tougher. That expansive attitude creates your circumstance.
Your attitude really does shape everything around you, doesn't it? Being open can change your whole life.
Israel was created as the instrument to bring about the Battle of Armageddon and the fulfillment of prophecy, a war that will be so terrible, where nuclear weapons will be used, so that the American citizens and the other people in the world will get down on their knees and beg for no more war. And what is the answer to that? They're going to be told the only way we can guarantee no more war is if we destroy the sovereignty of nations and we come together as one humanity in a one world government.
Right.
Now I'm telling you, unless the American people wake up and stop it, starting in about 1996, the Battle of Armageddon will become a reality. Babylon is in Iraq. Read the book of Revelations. Whether you believe in the book or not, read it, because the men who are bringing this about are using it as their script.
Well, the UN did indeed charter Israel as a sovereign nation. They were the ones who created this state.
That is correct. It was really created by Great Britain and the United States, with the United States being the major instigant.
Okay.
Jesus is coming soon. Biblical prophecy is coming to pass.
Guy has been coaching me on how to escape the matrix, simulation, whatever you want to call it. So I made this graphic to explain where we're at so far. The core concept is everything is energy in a form of geometry. Water on a speaker can illustrate this. Harmonic tones create symmetrical patterns. In the same way, the molecules of the water and the particles that make up those molecules do. DNA creates the living things that can interact with the simulation. As a fractal antenna, it reads the vibrations of the simulation so that you, your character, can interact and survive in it. It's creating a multiplayer online thing like World of Warcraft, where your consciousness controls the player. Your body would be like the haptic feedback suit in Ready Player One. Suit is your nervous system with the plexus or chakras, whatever you believe, giving you feedback in the form of emotions and feelings. Instead of the goggles, your brain is processing all of the geometries. This is according to the ancient info I was told to investigate. I found this in almost every tradition, and in every single one they put their best characters inside of this shape. which is a part of the code of the simulation. This square root of 2 is the binary sequence. It's cell division. Square root of 3 is the division of the cube. That's how we have the 3D world. The square root of 5 is the golden ratio, which gives harmony and proportion to everything in the world. So the player just reads the polarities. It's just like hot, cold, light, dark, soft, hard, all that stuff. You're just processing the polarities, which is interesting because the quantum part talks about the observer effect, saying it plays a direct role in shaping reality. 200 years ago, we figured out that's what snaps the waves into particles. So essentially, you're rendering reality like the game renders the environment, you and all the other players. So you and everybody else in the universe use that and entanglement to create a networked system exactly like how your brain and galaxies work. So why are we here or playing the game in the first place? Well, why do we play games? We'd like to see what it feels like to be a character that we're not. We'd like to have adventures and interact with other players. Knowing the rules allows us to have the best experience in the game. It's actually from my book, which is what I've been trying to document. These graphics are from Geometrix. We're not trying to escape. We're trying to get as many perspectives on how this works to have the best possible experience here and express that. We're all here for different reasons. Maybe the only reason we're playing is to help each other figure it out.
So AI programmed by the system, created by those who controls the system, and it's teaching you how to leave it. Sure.
يقلب على ترامب ثانك يو ترامب انا اللي بطعميني هذا يقلب عدينه احسن ما واحد يجي من تعاون حماس تعاون قطر يقول لي ايش خليك في دارك وما تسوي.
God bless America.
First, it's an intention, then an action, then a practice, then a consistency, then a habit, and then it's simply who you are.
That's also how sin works.
My name, it's not too important.
We're gonna hear some beats.
What I'm about to tell you, it's extremely important. I'm one of the first people to get a Neuralink implant in my skull. If you guys can see and don't really know what a Neuralink is, it's kind of like an electronic chip from Elon Musk embedded in your skull. At first it was kind of like a Fitbit, kept track of vital signs, stuff that was going on in my body. Eventually it's gotten to a point where I can move a mouse without even touching a computer. I can connect, I can download, I can transfer information. I'm not the only person that has one of these now, and how we can communicate. This is what's going to happen for the rest of the world. Eventually, this technology will be, maybe not in you, your kids, your grandkids. This is what's coming next. Welcome to the year 2025. Have fun.
What will happen when an AI hacks your Neuralink? What will happen when they transfer a virus to your brain?
Right now, you guys have about 100-year lifespan. You used to have 800, and before that you had 5,000-year lifespans. And before that you were eternal. In your time frame, with a 100-year lifespan, it may seem amazing to you that for the last, since 9058 BC, since the Luciferian Covenant, there was actually a strategically orchestrated plan to get you to a point where somebody wanted you. Because it seems like a huge span of time. It's nothing compared to races that lived for 10,000 years, or 20,000 or 40,000 years. We have been set up. We're in a petri dish down here, the way it's been run. But we're the ones that have the ability to change it and restore what was here. The history is horrendous.
Rihanna was spotted with the most mysterious woman in Hollywood, and pay very close attention to how they treat this woman. This is her a little later. She's seen backstage with A$AP Rocky. This woman has extremely close ties with almost every celebrity out there. There are tons of photos and videos of her with Usher, Kim Kardashian, the Migos, Kanye West, A$AP Rocky, and plenty of others. You could name almost any star, she's definitely got their contact. But who exactly is this woman? If you look her up, apparently she's a fashion designer, filmmaker, producer, but most importantly, she's married to Rick Owens. And that's when serious questions start coming up. If you know anything about Rick Owens, you probably know he's often called the Dark Lord of Fashion. So this woman is married to the Dark Lord of Fashion, and she's a fashion designer herself. But when you see,
I believe she does all the rituals for them.
If you a God, why do I gotta pray to you all day then? I tell the Muslims that. I'm like, hey, cool.
you believe in Allah, Allahu Akbar. White
Father of Mars travel walks into the house that's not white. For his last day, a congratulations and a key to the house that's not white, and he has a black eye. And TikTok, this is just the news. Episode 4. Literally, I'm not saying anything, I'm just saying the obvious. He walked in with a black eye. A black eye. Never mind. 1000% unrelated, not relevant whatsoever. Last night, he posted this very, very weird AI image of this bull-looking thing. A crowd of bull people. This is the only reason the video is labeled AI. But there's something weird about these bull, especially this one right here. Something is mighty, mighty, mighty familiar. I just can't put my finger on it. Picture is completely irrelevant. I'm just using it to help me think. By the way, completely unrelated again, I actually just dropped a crazy video on YT about this entity right here. He had said it was caused by his son X. X must be extremely strong at his age. And go back and watch the video, but there's a lot of redding in his eye. Anyways, hope your eye feels better.
In this world that we are living in, there is only two main focus. That's learn how to manipulate or get manipulated. This world isn't kind, it's strategic. You either pull the strings or dance on them. There's no in between. We always get played here. Unsoft person always get used. Being good all the time will not protect you, because this world will never play fair. Because power doesn't belong to the righteous. It belongs to the one who understands human nature and especially how to use it. A person who knows how to manipulate in a good way, they don't chase, they don't beg, or doesn't hope to be treated well. They simply engineers it. Always move with precision and never reckless emotion. You either learn the game or you stay as a pawn, especially in someone else's lives, and that will be your choice to select. Being elegant isn't about pleasing society. It is all about mastering yourself. And learn how to polish your attitude always. Because no matter how educated, talented, or rich you are, how you treat people is what defines you. Just know that you are not weak. You were just programmed that way. And this society conditioned you to doubt yourself, or sometimes to shrink. And sometimes they said you are not enough. And you don't need to believe any of that. Our thoughts always shapes our reality. Now, if you keep telling yourself you're not good enough or you're not capable of doing anything, you are manifesting your own limitations. You have to reprogram yourself. You have to unlearn the weakness they fed you. You have to control your mind and detach for the weak mindset. That includes fear, doubt, and insecurity, because those are parasites. Assalamu alaikum.
100% agree. Cutting ties from those who do not matter helps.
A man with a physically or emotionally absent father will grow up to be a chronic people pleaser who puts everyone else's needs first and develop an avoidant attachment. He'll assume that he's unworthy of his father's love, a wound that he'll carry into adulthood. And because he lacked a model of self-worth, he'll cope by avoiding conflict, clinging to external validation, and working overtime to be the perfect husband, friend, and worker. He is hypervigilant to everyone's moods. He scans for the slightest hint of rejection. His own needs stay buried deep inside him, and criticism cuts deep fast. Genuine male friendships feel out of reach because his father's absence whispers, "You're not welcome here." Expressing emotion feels dangerous. Saying no or setting boundaries, almost impossible. No one ever showed him how. Then as an adult, he instinctively attracts a partner carrying her own mother wound. Two hurt children in grown adult bodies. And they will recreate this pain that they grew up with and then hand it over to their children, keeping the same story alive for another generation. The only way out is through deep healing, meeting the core wounds, feeling what was never felt, and reparenting the little child still waiting inside.
Let me know how you feel about this in the comment.
The trick of money is having some. Let me explain. In the simulation, the game is already rigged, but in your favor if you know the trick of making money. See, money is just only energy, just pixels on the screen, a code in the matrix. Let me show you how to hack the system. See, when I was doing my Wake Up Miracle book with Dr. Joe Dispenza, I knew it. Just remember, the mind cannot be at two places at one time. I'm sure you watched my other videos on how to make money and how to remove pain with my combination codes. I would definitely watch the video about how to download the money code, the frequency code. Once you do that, then you need to focus on what you have now. Be grateful for all you have now in your life. That's hacking the simulation. If you focus on the money that you have now, more will come, especially if you have my frequency combination code. This is your game in the simulation. Play it right. Money is not a struggle. It's just part of the code. Now go out there and hack the system. Make sure you repost this video and make a comment so this video gets out to millions of people.
I'm going to shut up because I need to understand what you want. The biggest mistake people make is they talk a lot. If I'm doing all the talking and you're doing all the listening, right? You're learning everything about me. You're learning about what I care about, my values, my belief systems. You're getting a good read on me. And I'm learning nothing about you. There's a myth that people think if I do most of the talking, I have control. It's garbage. You have the power because you've got me now. What you want to understand is that person's motivational mindset. What are you motivated by? So that is your value and belief system. Everybody's motivated by something different, but I have to hear you and pay attention to you to understand what that is. If you give people enough space, they will reveal themselves to you. But we're so busy talking, we're so busy making noise because we think everybody needs to hear me. I'm identity. Everybody needs to know me, 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 me. And you know what? Nobody cares. Because everybody loves to talk about themselves because everybody wants to feel heard. Now, I'll tell you this though. I'm going to push back on the little bit of the like thing because even in business, people are like, I need people to like me. I need people to like me. That is a trek for disaster because now you're focused on not what your goal is, but I need to make somebody like me. Those are two different animals. If my goal is to do a deal with you, then I'm going to focus on what do I need to get this deal done. If my goal is to get you to like me, which is much more complex and much more confusing, and also it's going to mess me up in trying to figure that out, I say this. Don't focus on making people like you because you can do everything right and people may still just not like you. How about I'm going to be competent in what I do? When I say I'm going to do something, I follow through. When I say I can do something, I actually can do it. When I say I'm going to be there at 9, I'm there at 8:55. In the U.S. Secret Service, we had a saying, if you're on time, you're late. I show you that I'm competent. When you see that, are you going to like me for that? Yes, you are. Warmth is the other element here. Warmth is, I show you respect. So instead of me trying to get you to like me, how about I just show you respect? I'm also open and approachable. I'm also non-judgmental. That's a big thing. Everybody's kind of like throwing their weight around. Let me tell you what I think. Let me tell you what I think. Nobody needs to know what you think. It doesn't matter. If you're really trying to build a connection with a person, then build it and let them tell you what they think. Now I see the world through your lens, not mine. I always say especially I do a lot of keynotes and training for businesses, you don't matter, they matter. What do they want? What do they need? What's important to them? Let them tell you. And then when they tell you, instead of trying to guess how to enter a conversation, because you're coming into the blind, but what do? I shut up. I listen, I let you reveal to me what matters to you, what your values are, and then I come in more intelligently into the conversation and I speak to you. You have to know your audience, but you don't know your audience if you're doing all the talking.
Learn to stay quiet is power. Sitting and watching is powerful and revealing.
Chinese Cybertruck. This is their version, and you can change the steering wheel from left to right. Doesn't matter, left or right. That's amazing. And look how cool this thing is. I feel like this is what the Tesla Cybertruck should have looked like. I don't like the jagged edges. It looks a little bit too 80s sci-fi for me. But I think it's cool. I think the normal Tesla Cybertruck's cool. This thing's just cooler. Let's be honest.
Why can't they invent their own car without waiting for America to do first?
Anyone listening to this, you specifically right now, wherever you are, whoever you are, no matter how lonely, the world offers itself to your imagination. And you are part of the family of things. So whoever hears this, you specifically, in your essence, you are safe. No matter what it looks like, you are fundamentally going to be okay. I promise.
Oh my gosh, everything you've been taught about the solar system and stars is completely false based on the Rockefeller education system. What you see, look up, guys. Grab your phone and try this out, but look at how wild this is. Look at this. You think,
dude, should we go into the portal?
That's a star, guys. That is what you were looking at every day. That's one of them, by the way. They all have different designs. See how sacred geometry it is?
Not even a very bright one.
It's pulsating different colors. It's like a little portal. This is what's going on, guys. This is what's going on. Every day we're looking up at these souls of bright light. Like, oh wow, what do you guys think?
Have you guys heard of the Reddit lamp story? This kid in college was walking and he was just like a normal kid, and this like jock guy started to like push him like super hard, and he like hit his head.
Oh no.
And then like woke up, he's like, oh my gosh, that hurt so bad. And then goes into class and he sees this really beautiful lady. The instant, like, I love her, you know? Long story short, they got married, they had kids, and then one night after leaving the kids' room, he was looking at this lamp in his living room, and he's like, there's something wrong with that lamp. Every day he would come and stare at it. It got so consuming to him that he like was missing work, he was neglecting the kids, his wife. His whole marriage fell apart because he was obsessed with this lamp. His wife left him with the kids. Then he finally one day went over to this lamp and he's like, this lamp's not real. And all of a sudden the lamp started to glow and it like turned into like a portal, sucked him through, and he woke up on the concrete in front of the college.
No.
He lived 10 years in this reality because he got knocked unconscious. It messed with him so bad because his wife and kids don't exist. But he said every night he would have a dream of his 5-year-old son.
Is this real?
That's, I mean, I don't know.
Bro.
I always like the gasping lady. Thanks for watching, folks. God bless.